Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Dropping Gems with your girl, K-laine. I have a wonderful couple on today. They are my favorites. They are my friends in real life. So, this conversation is going to be so good. It's going to be engaging. The conversation is going to be rich. So I just want to welcome you to the show. Hi, Jahon and Keya. Hi, y'all.
Hey.
I'm so glad that you guys are on the show. I'm just going to be transparent here. I wish I was in the room with y'all and I miss y'all so much. You don't even know what you're missing until it's in your face.
Yeah.
Until it's in your face. And I was like, I just want to be at their house and hang out with them and talk to them because I miss them so much.
We're glad to be here, and we miss you too. Every once in a while, Peter does. Trina.
Right, yeah, I miss y'all
Every
so
once
much.
in a while, I might ask about you, but I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it seem like.
You thinking about
Are
her?
you thinking about her?
Right.
I don't act like that.
Hey,
I know you don't.
hey, I'm just saying.
You never know, but Keya was my friend first, so
Yeah, I guess you got that right.
So, man, it's so good to talk to y'all, and I just remember, when y'all first got together, and they've been married for 5 years, and I know they got some gems to tell us. We got to talk about it because I think I was there in the beginning, not in the very, very beginning, but I was there in partially the beginning, and I watched their relationship grow, and I watched them I watched them have children, and it's just so beautiful to me. It's beautiful to me. It's beautiful.
Watch us have children, but you were there, when the children came.
Yes, I was there when the children came.
You were there. You were there in the very beginning. You were there before I decided to date him. You remember? I remember talking to you a lot. I used to talk to you a lot about it. I don't know this and that. I'm waiting this pro. Yeah. You used to be like, if that doesn't matter, it seems like all the pros are outweighing the cons.
I did say that. Absolutely.
She was on your side.
Absolutely. That is exactly how it happened. So tell us a little bit how it all started from the beginning. How did you guys even decide to even want to be together, or even that you liked each other?
She loved me. She didn't even know she loved me, but she loved me. She didn't even know it. She liked me before she even knew she liked me. Okay? So I had to help her come around. I had to help her realize that. Because, sometimes, you just find yourself, kind of talking to people and you don't know why you still talking to them. It's almost like when you taste something and something tastes funny, but you just can't taste it. You can't I can't figure out what it is. And that's what it was for her. She knew that I was always texting her, always calling her. But she couldn't figure out why. She couldn't figure out why she was responding and answering my phone call.
And answering back.
It's because she loved me. She just didn't know it.
She didn't even know it yet. Wow. So
I knew. Okay. I knew. Okay. It wasn't no question. I knew.
How? How did you know?
When I first saw her, it was one of those things where it was just something different about her. It was I literally, and I hate to sound cliche, but it was love at first sight. I just knew that when I saw her, that if the opportunity ever came,
wow,
I'm getting that.
Oh,
not like the draws, but
right.
That was gonna come eventually. But it was just if the opportunity came.
That's awesome. So Keya, okay, so how did you pick up what he was putting down since he already knew? How did you receive that? Like, how did that make you feel?
Honestly, it took me a while. It took me a while.
Persistent.
Yes, he was very, very persistent. It took me a real long while, and that has to do with a lot of times.
Okay, yeah.
Dies because things happen, so it took a minute, and when it's consistency, he never made me feel like I was in competition with anyone else, but
Absolutely.
Sometimes you have that, women know, we know, like, it's something else, you got somebody else. I'm not, it's not just me. Yeah, like, we know that, we can sense that. And for him to have been, because we long distance dated, he was all the way in Nashville, I was here in Michigan. And
right,
so
okay.
It was long distance. And so even being long distance, I never got that feeling to where it was probably somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I guess you could say I was being naive, I don't know. But I didn't feel naive. I just had that feeling that, I'm sorry, we have a dog, that there's nobody else, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He was always available, always wanted to talk to me, just always very nice, very polite, sweet. It wasn't never on the tip of like when I'm gonna get, when we're gonna get together. It was never on that tip where I felt like he was just trying to get my draws. He was just really like, I need to have this. You are going to be my wife. Like, I need to marry you.
Wow, that's an amazing story because most of the time it don't happen like that. It'd be a guy, he's persistent, and then he's only persistent for one thing, the draws.
Right.
So that's an amazing story. Like, that's like empowering, and just to hear a guy say, I knew she was the one, but she didn't love me. She didn't know she loved me, but she knew. That has to be one of the most empowering things for a single person. It has to, because a lot of single people don't believe in marriage anymore, or they're kind of like scared to even cross that line with someone, because most people these days are so self-serving. They're only concerned about themselves. They're not even worried about like right at the distance, like where anything that is a problem for them, anything that makes them uncomfortable, they're just so ready to leave. They're so ready to leave it alone. So how do you guys stay together? Like, how do you guys longevity, what do you guys think about that? What are some of the steps that you guys are taking to remain close and remain married?
For me, I just have it embedded I've always had it embedded in my head since day one, the wedding day, that my ideal is going to be every day. There is no, I do today, she didn't wash the dishes, so I don't know more. I don't want to be with you. I don't want
right,
to be
that's good. That's good.
And I take my vows serious. It's not one of those things where I don't want to leave because then I'm gonna be concerned about what other people might think or what her family might think. No, I want to be here. When I wake up in the morning, that's me making the decision, the conscious decision,
right,
to just want to be here. It's like you said, a lot of people, they go through those hard times, and they have that one hard time, and they want to throw in the towel, just one, and it's really nothing to be leaving over. It's like, because single people, I feel like single people are spoiled. They have the luxury of just walking out because they don't have that attachment to the other person.
Right.
So it's kind of easy to be immature and childish. It's like two kids playing basketball. Mm-hmm. You fouled me. I ain't fouled you. I'm gonna take my ball and I'm gonna go home.
Right.
That's how a lot of single people act, and nobody wants to literally fight to make things work. Everybody wants kind of like like the church expression. They want that microwave. They want everything to just be easy and work out. And it just doesn't work like that. Marriage actually takes work, and you're not willing to put in that work, you're not worthy of being married.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I absolutely. So, like, how do you think as a married couple that you guys inspire people to learn those ideas of fighting for your marriage or staying together and not letting one little excuse me, not letting one little incident deter you from being married or being ready to leave? Like, so how do you guys feel like you inspire other married couples or single people to want to have the same experience or learn that idea?
One of the things we do is that we are very transparent with our marriage. And so we do marriage, we want to present it in real life. So many people, even myself included, before being married and actually knowing what marriage is really about, you have this fantasy of like happily ever after. I can't wait till I get my husband. It's going to be wonderful all the time. I'm going to be this for him and that for him.
Right.
We're going to do this all the time, every night, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You have all these things in your head going on when in real life, that's just not what it's like. I'm sorry, it just doesn't turn out that way. Maybe for some people, I don't know. Some people not, but most people, marriage is not what you make up in your head. And so I think one of the things that we do is we just try to be real and open about things, you know what I'm saying? When we do our own, videos or chat with other people, like, okay, somebody's asked us, well, how are y'all today? Well, I mean, we're going to be real. Like, I'm feeling him this week. I just wasn't. No? Did y'all kiss each other? No? I did, because I wasn't feeling him like that. Like, so it's just like, we be honest and real about it because that's just what it is. You just want to be real and open about what marriage really is and get rid of this fantasy and this fairy tale idea of that, because people go into it with that fairy tale idea and realize, like, wait a minute, this ain't really a fairy tale. I'm out of here. That's why a lot of people get divorced, because they like, what?
Yeah, like,
what?
He wear his socks 2 days. I'm out of here. No,
Right.
No.
Hey, hey, don't do that with the socks, because I do that. Okay?
And then the face, Keya's like, whatever. See, this is what marriage is about, y'all. You see, it be about the socks.
Hey, man, look, I work outside, okay? So I be needing 2 pairs of socks, so.
But that's just something you have to learn about your spouse, and then learn about each other. And you're just forever learning. And so, beginning of our marriage, he likes to leave his wet bath towel. One too many times, and okay, he left it on the bed, where the whole rack in the bathroom where the towels go. So listen, he got it together after after a couple times. I'm just like, you gotta please put this back, put these towels back, sir. And so we got it. So that's not an issue.
So both of you guys, was it hard unlearning like the quote unquote bad habits you had as a single person to intertwine with your spouse, like the bath towels, or leaving hair in the sink, or leaving your shoes? I don't know what bad habits people have, but I do understand like little things that irritate your spouse that you used to do as a single person, and you was just like, this is what I do. But now just like you mentioned, the bath towel, like, how did you was it hard to unlearn those things, or like
No, it wasn't hard. It was just trying to remember. I mean, because like you said, coming from having my place and us having ours together, it's like, me, I do stuff when I'm ready to do it. I'm at my place, I might walk past a few times, like, oh, let me go there. Whereas her, it's like, you just put that down there. 2 seconds ago, I need to pick that up. I'm not going to give you an opportunity to walk by it 2 times.
Not 2?
I can't even walk by it 2 times. Before it even like, oh, let me go ahead and pick that up. But no, it wasn't difficult at all. It was just, just like I said, just keeping in mind what bothers her, so that I don't allow this to become an issue. I mean, because I could easily just be like, well, you see it on the floor, you pick it up.
You pick it up. Right. Absolutely.
I could just as easily, but because, I'm sharing this living space with somebody, just like there's things I need for her to do, there's things she needs me to do. So, again, it's that teamwork, that give and take thing.
So. I mean, you want to pick your battles, you know what I'm saying? Like, some stuff is just like, yeah, I let this roll. I ain't gonna trip about this and that. And that's, that's how things can kind of balance out. Like, I ain't gonna trip about this time.
Yeah, and that reflects selflessness, because a lot of people, again, are very selfish and are reluctant to change anything, because that's just who they are. If they can't accept me for the way I am, then I'm out, or have contingent. So that's like, that reflects selflessness to me. And I was like, wow, it was easy for you to change it like that. And even me being a single person, there's absolutely things that I felt like I didn't have to change because it's part of who I am. But then when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, you want someone to change some things, to accommodate you. So you should reciprocate and be that selfless person, because it's only going to make the household better, everybody happy. So why not? So I really appreciate that. So how do you guys have those hard conversations? Like, how do you guys have hard conversations about money, about those type of things?
You know what? Money is not an issue for us.
Wow.
And I don't take that as in we just so rich that, we just ain't worried about it. It's just one of those things where I don't fall out with people over money. That's just something I just absolutely don't do. When it comes to money, neither one of us are irresponsible spenders.
I see.
We check with each other before we decide to make any type of purchase. For example, just the other day, I actually wanted to buy a new video game for my Xbox. But
I know about that, Keya. I know about that.
Like,
it's important.
Before I do that, let me check with my wife to see if the girls need anything. Right. So I was like, babe, do the girls need anything? They need clothes? She's like, yes, they need clothes.
Dang it.
Wait, before you do that, let me pay some bills real quick.
Right.
And so after she paid the bills, I still didn't buy nothing. I still didn't spend no money. It's just, I'm still waiting for her to tell me she didn't pay the bills. I just assumed that she did. But yeah, that's just one thing we don't fall out about. But our topics is pretty much something Keya does. Like, for me, like, I ain't got no issues with Keya. I just don't. This is my ace right here. I know she take care of business. I know that she, an imperfect person. I know she doesn't do things intentionally to hurt me, to hurt our kids, to, jeopardize our life. But when I feel like something that she has done, or something that I have done, or somebody in general, there's something that has transpired that put our marriage in jeopardy.
In jeopardy.
Yes. Then that's when I come to her, say whatever. But I've never had any type of hard conversation.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've had hard conversations though.
No.
And I was gonna say, I mean,
we've never had to. I think that has a lot to do with the person. Where I am more of the extrovert in our relationship, and he's more of the introvert. I'm more emotional sharing, and more of the if you don't ask me, I ain't gonna tell you. So it's kind of like that with us. So when we have those hard conversations, you gotta know the person that you having the conversation with. So some of the times we might have it face to face hard conversations where we have learned, or we're learning still,
right? Absolutely.
Out with something good, if you kind of sandwich it. So you sandwich it with some type of affirmation first, then
right?
The meat got to be the hard conversation. Then you sandwich it with some more affirmation, something else you've done good, something else I appreciate about you. You don't end it with something that's just the hard stuff. And then we're still learning how to take this makes me feel instead of you do this.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. The pointing the fingers, the blame, and
So, and then also, like I said, you got another person that you're talking to. So if your person doesn't talk, he doesn't talk very much, he better expresses himself through writing. He can think better. If he can text or something, it gives him a better opportunity to think of what his response can be or what he needs to say, and then text it to me, rather than I can just go off the top.
Absolutely.
Right away.
Most women can. But
it takes men a minute to process. And so his process time could be like, we'll have the conversation sometimes, a hard conversation. And I'll be like, okay, I've said what I have to say. I'll give you time to process it. You just let me know when you ready to talk about it. And then that's how it goes. Or, like I said, we either text each other or I write him a letter. This is what I need to write out. This is what I need to get out. You read it, and then he processes it, and then if he wants to come talk about it, he talks about it, or he'll text about it, so.
That's good. So you guys created a whole process of how to communicate when it is hard, when you don't want to, because a lot of people don't communicate about the hard stuff because they don't want to talk about it. They would just rather go to bed mad, or they would rather just sweep it under the rug until the rug starts that's that lump in the rug. You got to eventually talk about it. So I think that's very commendable, and I think that's a lesson that us young married people can take for life, because it sounds like y'all hard conversations are not really hard.
Well, they can be hard, but the thing is, sometimes you have to know when to take a break from those conversations.
They can be intense. I would say they can be very intense. They can get really deep into something, and then I'm sorry. I thought I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, sorry. It's just when you feel that when one of you feel like somebody's about to cross the line, where you feel like the other person is crossing the line, to where it's no longer of you attacking the issue, but you're more attacking each other. It's definitely somebody has to be able to realize that, okay, we need a break. Let's parking lot this, and let's come back to it such and such a day, such and such a time. In the meantime, I think sometimes the hardest thing can be kind of like still living with that person, because that issue is still there.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you have to really kind of get it in your head that it's not the person, it's the problem.
Right.
Because you love her. Because I love her. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to attack her, because whenever you see teammates argue, then there's going to be turmoil. And then when there is turmoil, it just makes it that easier for you two to split and just go your separate ways.
Right.
And never come back to resolve that particular thing, and that's how breakups and divorces come. So once you go ahead and get that time scheduled, go ahead and schedule that time. But in the meantime, in between time, you guys need to come back and, I don't want to say act like nothing happened, but some way, somehow, you guys need to find a way to get some peace.
Yes.
In the meantime, because what's going to happen is you guys are going to go to bed upset. You know, right. You guys are not going to speak to each other. You guys are going to avoid each other. And then when that time comes, you know, that tension is still there and you're right back to square one.
Wow, that's good. That is so good. Like, literally, I felt that. That was so good.
I have my too. I've listened to a lot of different marriage sermons and podcasts or whatever. And so one thing that I learned is that you got to treat your marriage like a business, because it's a business. So when you're running a business, you don't put your emotions all into it. You take your emotions out. You figure out what the problems are in the business, how you can strategize to tackle problems and resolve things, come up with a solution, and then move forward with the business so that the business can continue to strive and succeed. So that was one of the things we had started trying to do as well. And when we have our hard conversations, we say, all right, let's take the emotions. And when we feel like we're getting riled up, all right, let's sit back. Let's take the emotions out of it.
Right.
So let's just take the emotions out. Let's not be emotional, and then let's just talk about this issue. Let's figure out how we're gonna fix it. And so that's one thing that we did learn. It's treated like our business, because it is. This is something that we got to hold on to. We got to keep building. It's something that's got to prosper. So.
And you can't think rationally when you're in emotion.
You cannot. You definitely cannot. You cannot think rationally, and feelings get hurt when you're in your feelings. It's just it becomes this big old mess. So after having children, how do you guys keep it spicy? How do you guys, continue to have that spark that I just seen in your eyes when you talked about her, that you knew that she was the one?
For me, it's just trying to remember, just trying to keep in mind, like, the things that she likes. Like, you know how it is when you see a dude out in public and he got on his white t-shirt and he got on them gray sweats.
I'm a Christian and I don't condone gray sweatpants.
But you still got hormones. But it's like I try to remember, like she likes to see me in my t-shirt and my sweats, and she likes to, be off doing her thing, and all of a sudden he showered. Oh, he using that bath gel.
The bath gel.
The bath gel, and then, or I'll go into the bathroom and I might not even be taking a shower. Shave up a little bit, and she might be cooking, and she hear that. Oh, he is in there lining up. He's lining up. I can't. He gonna make me come up in there and see him. You gotta remember, those things that turns your partner on, or just the things, and it's not just in a sexual way, but that kind of. You gotta remember to do things that reminds them of how they felt about you when you were dating.
Absolutely.
You always have to do things, that nostalgia. You always have to do things that keeps them, reminded of why they chose to marry you, or why they even chose to date you if you're dating. So that way, when you get things like that going, then you always feel like, man, I sure made the right choice.
You're right. It always brings you back to that same one feeling, like, man.
With kids, though, you have to be intentional. You have to, especially for women, because we do a lot. Like, our minds think about a lot more than what most men think about. So, my husband can come home from work, take off his work clothes, relax, chill out, eat dinner, go sit down and do whatever he's gonna do. Well, I can get off work. I'm about to go put the clothes in the washing machine. Take the dish out of the dishwasher, put some more in the dishwasher, get the girls in the bathtub, brush their teeth, get their pajamas on, get my stuff done for my other, my excess job. I just get this stuff ready for tomorrow. Gotta get, you know what I'm saying? So I'm moving. I'm just chilling, and then he like, hey girl.
Hey girl, hey.
I'm tired. Like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm still honest. So you have to be like very intentional, especially when you have to be intentional about it. Remember, okay, this is the last time I gave my husband some undivided attention. Like,
right.
I have to remember that. Like, okay, now let's look. Okay, maybe it was last week.
Oh, not last week. Okay. Oh.
No. You get undivided them legs.
But anyways, so you just have to be a bit intentional about it. And then, like you said, help me about why they started dating you in the first place. And you gotta keep dating the person. You gotta keep swooning the person and pursuing the person. And you know what I'm saying? Like, he did a lot of stuff in the beginning. I don't know if he remembers, but he did a whole lot of stuff in the beginning.
Oh, I remember. I was like, if you don't get that man, girl, he love you.
That stuff needs to continue on, because and sometimes though, even though that can be kind of tricky, but sometimes, like what you just said, like, he love you, from those, all that stuff that he was doing for me, you can equate that with love, which it can be equated with that love, but not really. Like, it's equated with infatuation with me, yeah. And then,
right.
But sometimes we do equate that with love, so when we don't get it, it's like, you must not love me no more.
You don't love me no more.
Because you don't do the same things he did.
Mama!
But just having an intentional time, like, it might sound corny, but you set aside like one-on-one, sensual, intimate time. And it doesn't necessarily have to be sexual.
Right.
Have intimate time where you can connect emotionally.
If there was one piece of advice that you could give to an engaged couple, what would that be? Or two, if you have two nuggets, two of them, because I know y'all got a lot, because that face was like, which part?
I got two off top.
Okay, well then y'all can do 4 then, since you could have 2 and then Keya could have 2.
First one is do not. I gotta keep saying it because somebody's gonna do what I'm saying do not do. It just never fails. Do not ignore the red flags.
Wow. Yep, that's good. That's a very good one. I hope y'all taking notes. Do not ignore the red flags.
And the second one is do marriage counseling.
Premarital counseling. Okay.
Premarital counseling. And listen to the things that is coming out of each other's mouth when you're talking, when questions are being answered. Now, I ain't saying, just pick every little thing apart that they're saying.
Right.
Just really listen to what they're saying. Because later on down the line, just before you say I do or while you're married, some of those things that said that you chose not to pay attention to in the premarital counseling might show ahead later on.
Right.
Because you should believe a person when they tell you. Believe me.
When they say they crazy for real.
Say it one more time. People in the back.
Look, let me say, when they say that they crazy, you believe that they crazy, because that crazy gonna come out. It's gonna come out. And you're gonna be like, I can't handle crazy. But you already knew. That person told you they crazy.
Or when you in premarital counseling, they tell you, or like if the husband say, my mama come before her. And girl, you better not be okay with that. Girl, you better not. At that point, ain't there's nothing to talk about in the discussion. I'll see you next lifetime.
We out.
So yeah, those are my two things. Don't ignore the red flag and do premarital.
That's good. Okay. Yeah, I hope y'all taking notes because these are some good gems they dropping right now.
I would say don't rush. Don't rush it. I mean, I get it. Like, I feel like, well, I wouldn't say we rushed it, but if we could tell someone we would never tell anyone to do things that we do.
Do it the way that we do.
Do the way that we do. Of course we do. We wanted to be together. We wanted to get married. We were engaged and then married 2 weeks later.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks. Yeah, we got engaged and then married about 2 weeks later. And God has definitely blessed us. It has definitely been a blessing to, be married to this man. And, everything that we've gone through in the last 5 years, God's definitely been good to us. But
wow.
I would say 5 years.
It just, time is just flying by. So you say 5 years, I'm like, it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5, almost 6 years. So don't rush it. Take your time. Really get to know the person and ask the hard questions in the beginning. So ask that question about, do you want children and how many do you want? Ask that hard question about, well, how do you raise kids? Like, what do you feel like raising children is like? Are you going to be like authoritative parent, authoritarian? Learn those things.
Right.
Are you going to be the dictator in the house, or how's that going to work?
When the last time you got tested fast too?
Yeah.
Yes, those hard questions. Absolutely. That question is probably before marital counsel for me. That's going to be before we even at married counseling. That, boy.
Yeah, that's important. Ask what's your credit score? How you handle money? You got a savings account? You know what I'm saying? Like, ask all of that stuff, like, because that can be real issues later. Y'all trying to buy a house and y'all credit score is both jacked up. Y'all
and you know what?
And
if the person you want to be with, or both of y'all credit is jacked up and y'all still with each other, that's okay.
Understand how to build it. Like,
I was just gonna say that. Let's take the time and let's do this together
before we say I do, because it don't help for neither one of y'all to have, it don't help for both of y'all to have bad credit in either one.
Absolutely.
And then understanding, like, what your relationship is going to be your relationship. So everybody's going to talk and tell you, I say listen to the red flags, listen to the actual red flags. Like, some people in your life really do have some good discernment, and you need to listen to them. Like,
everybody ain't hating. Everybody ain't jealous.
But also know that your relationship is your relationship. You know what you are going to expect. So my husband, he came up here he moved to Michigan. He decided to move to Michigan to marry me. So that meant leaving everything in Nashville. That meant coming here with zero. So that meant I understood that he's coming here with zero. I'm willing to be that person to help support him until he gets to where he needs to be. So he came here, and then a year and a half later, he was working at the post office, making good money. So just kind of like, it was a tough first year. It was a tough first year.
But that's real though. But that's real. That is so real, because people don't want to do that. They be like, oh, he I don't care. He coming up here to marry me. He better have a job before he get here. Like, and that shows your selflessness, Keya. Like, you like, okay, I got you. So that means even down the line, I had your back at this hardest time. So just think, when it gets easier, I got your back. I got your back. So that was very good. Like, wow. Because most women wouldn't. Most women would have been like, no.
Hey, I still remember one day we went to go eat at Cracker Barrel one night. And man, I don't know if you remember, but we was talking, and I just bust out in tears because like I'm just used to being the one providing.
Right.
I'm used to being able, because like when we were dating and everything, like I was handling like a lot of the stuff whenever she would come down. I was paying for everything, and I've been married before, so I'm used to being the sole breadwinner. You know, I'm not. You know, I never knew what it felt like to have someone take care of me.
I see.
Financially. So for me being a man and all of a sudden I have a woman that's taking care of me, you know, it kind of makes you feel this small. Because, you know, it's number one, it's an ego thing, it's a pride thing. Mm-hmm. And I just remember sitting there crying. I mean, just bawling my eyes out, and kids like, what's wrong? Where did this come from?
Right.
You don't understand. We sitting here like finna bring this bill. I ain't got no money. It's okay. I understand. You got it. Like, no, you don't understand. You know, because like I said, just used to being able to feel like I'm a provider. And yet, I have this job that's only paying me like $13. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just for me and everything that I had left behind. That was like a huge pay cut.
Right. And then now you have a family, so to say, to build, and with the minimum that you're not even used to.
Yeah, we hadn't even had a family yet. So it was like the job that I had left, I was making $42,000. And so to drop from $42,000 all the way down to $13 an hour, it's like, woo! It's tight up in here, you know.
Right.
But, you know, I had it.
Right, but y'all made it through. That's the beauty of it. You guys made it through those tough times, and you guys learned how to treat each other, and it was a growing point for you guys, and y'all made it through. So that now we can talk about it and laugh about it. And it may have been hard then, but definitely it worked out for your good. And look at y'all now, got a little beautiful family that I'm coming to see. So where can they find you? Because I know you guys have this talk. You have a group that you guys go live on to talk more about marriage life. So where can the audience find you? Like if they want to hear some of your lives or check out your site, because I know they want to follow you all because you have dropped some serious gems on us today.
Well, we do have a Facebook group. It's called Marriage in Real Life. And when I say marriage in real life, is very, it mirrors what my wife said earlier about, you know, just pretty much removing all the glitz and glam and fairy tale stuff that people think that marriage is. And we keep it 100. We are very transparent. Now, we don't get too detailed to where, we talking about what's going on in the bedroom, but, we do talk about, things issues that we've encountered, how we've navigated and made it through. We talk about, our tough patches. We talk about our, successes as well. We do also take the time to post things, and we allow people that follow along in the group, they can post things as well. We also take the time to incorporate other things that we've learned, whether it's through an article or, from another marriage mentor that we may have. It's fun. It's fun to be
Absolutely. Oh, that's so nice. So thank you guys for being on my show, Dropping Gems with your girl, K-laine. Make sure you guys go follow them on Facebook at Married in Real Life. They have some great talks on there. I follow them, so that means y'all need to follow them too. And don't forget to follow me on all social media sites at K-laine. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tap that bell so you won't miss me dropping any gems. We out. Peace. Bye.